everybody, it is the Law Gnome and welcome back to another Funko Pop update. I'm really hoping that you are excited for some more discussions and a little bit more of my collection. So if you're new, let me just say welcome. It's a pleasure to have you. And for all of you returning, it's still a very interesting year for Funko. I mean, their media platform is pretty much non-existent at this point. They are probably one of the most unreliable sources in regards to finding out what is new and exciting in their world. But I'm so grateful for the Funko community that is still very passionate and still going strong because they're giving me all the news that I need to hear. I'm also very excited to say that I am still excited about this company and about these products, and Pops are still very much abundant, and they're definitely not fading out because regardless of how I feel about the company, they're still suddenly diving deep, and they're coming out with new leaks and new glam shots of things that I cannot believe they're making because some of these things I've been waiting for years. I mean, I am going to say that we're not going to look at it today, but I got my very first Slam magazine cover, which is one of the sports Funko Pops, because it featured the very first New York Knick Pop that we have seen in, I think, a little over 5 years. The fact that we haven't seen a single New York Knick embodied in Funko form is crazy. And then when I found out what came out after that, I got even more excited because they're expanding the NBA Jam 2-pack line, and they announced a 2-pack of two Knicks players that I grew up with, Patrick Ewing and John Starks, and of course you know that I pre-ordered that. They're even throwing out a couple of line extensions, like a single pop here or 2 pops here, so knowing that we're going to be getting a Simpsons Funko Pop of Evil Homer makes me so excited because I have to add that one to my collection as well. There's also been some new comic covers that are very exciting. One that I sort of in the back of my mind knew was coming out, but then when they finally showed it, and my God, did it not disappoint. That one I'm not going to spoil for you, but you probably will notice the spoiler if you're taking a look at the thumbnail, because that is the one that I am talking about. So it is a very exciting time for Funko, even though, you know, I didn't get anything from C2E2. I have no idea what to expect from San Diego Comic-Con. But I am still going to say that Funko is still finding ways to connect with me as a collector, and they definitely seem to be connecting with a lot of people as collectors as well, because I'm seeing all of these great videos on social media and the Funko Pop community, and there's still so much excitement. I mean, the fact that there's so many more sources of a possible 5-pack of a Pop Rocks Beach Boys Pet Sounds line. I mean, I'm a big Beach Boys fan. Along with the Beatles, the Beach Boys are my second all-time favorite band from the 1960s. I mean, I love them, I love Green Day, I love Smashing Pumpkins. Still no Smashing Pumpkins pops at this point in time. I would love one of those, to be honest with you. But knowing that they're finally going to make a set of Beach Boys, I mean, I'm really hoping that it's true because I would love to invest in that. And there's still a couple of announcements that have been made, but I have not seen any chances to order the products that I want. But I'm just going to let you guys know that it's still a very strong year, and there's still so many Pops in my collection and other Funko products to share with you before this year is over. So I have not run out of Pops yet, thank goodness. But in the meantime, everybody, let's take a look at how my collection has been going. So even though this Funko Pop update is a wrap-up of everything that happened pretty much in April, we also have to take into account that since this is being posted in May, that means we are in the midst of celebrating Free Comic Book Day. Just in case you don't know, it is the first Saturday in May every single year, and this year is May the 4th, which coincides with May the 4th Be With You, also known as Star Wars Day. So I thought it would be great to show off some really special Funko Pops, and 2 of which actually were classified as Free Comic Book Day exclusives. So they are both by PX Previews, and the first one that I want to show you is one of the very first of the brand new series of Invincible. Of course, this is based on the comic book from Robert Kirkman over at Image and Skybound, but of course the Pops themselves are based on the phenomenal Amazon Prime television show, which I'm dying for it to come out on physical media. But I have seen both seasons, I enjoy it, and I wanted to feature this iconic Invincible Pop moment. This is the final showdown in the first season between Invincible and his father, Omni-Man. And this is the moment that basically became the most memeable thing from the show. Apparently, when it comes to anything that J.K. Simmons does, who is the voice of Omni-Man, it's impossible that it is going to not become a meme. So this is the infamous Think Mark moment where Omni-Man is basically telling Invincible why he is making some big mistakes in regards to how he is using his powers and how he should. So this is just a beautiful Funko Pop. The details are fantastic, and no, this is not classified as a blood splatter pop. Blood splatter pops are something we don't really see that often anymore, but this is a very bloody moment in the show. I mean, the details are unbelievable. I mean, look at Invincible's face. That just says it all. The very beautiful Rorschach-like blood splatter is just truly artistic, and I also love the pattern in the rock that he's been crushed on. And then, of course, you've got Omni-Man doing his Think Mark pose, and of course, he's got blood on his face too, and his hair is all mashed up and whatnot. There's really not much to do in regards to turning it around, because it's basically just a flat brown base, but the details on the front just say it all. It is a fantastic pop that captures the moment, and quite frankly, I've seen the Invincible line, and I really don't intend on buying any more Invincible pops for my collection, but this is the only one, and it's the best one as far as I'm concerned when it comes to getting some Invincible representation, and more importantly, getting some indie comics representation in my collection, because I have so much Marvel and DC, so the fact that we actually got Invincible pops, because I know we're not going to get any Spawn pops, and I doubt we're going to get any other comic characters outside of Marvel and DC at this point, so this is wonderful. I mean, yeah, we did get Saga way back in the day, but I don't think we're going to get any more of those, but this is a great next step. I hope we get some more indie comic characters. I would love some Wildcats, Youngblood, Shadowhawk. If they ever decided a Max pop would be fantastic. But now I want to go to the big one. So there's a story behind this, and only one of these is a free comic book day exclusive. So basically, you guys know how much I love the comic covers, whether it's Marvel or DC, but they've really got to grab me. So this is, just in case you don't know, the 4 X-Men 1 from 1991 comic covers that are done by Jim Lee. They are 4 connecting covers that feature all the X-Men for a brand new X-Men title. It was the second X-Men title to come out with the title of X-Men. Before that, there was New Mutants, there was Wolverine, but this is the iconic X-Men #1 that is still, to this very day, the highest grossing comic book in history. So the first one that came out was the Wolverine, and I was not too fond of it. I mean, I loved that they did the comic book shading on Wolverine. Apparently, it's the only one that got comic book shading, but I was just saying, you know, if this is going to be the only one that they make, it's just not going to grab me. But then I found out that they were making the Magneto, and this is actually a metallic. I never got a metallic pop in my collection, so this is a first for me. And when I saw the Magneto, I was like, okay, I'm going to at least get the Magneto pop, because I would love to have a Magneto in my collection, which I don't have. Plus, the Jim Lee comic cover is absolutely stunning. But then they announced that they're making this one with Beast, so apparently I was getting the message. Eventually, there was going to be all 4 of them, and lo and behold, the 4th one, which was featuring Gambit, which also was the free comic book day exclusive, I said, you know what, I'm going to get the whole set. And you know what, I'm glad I did, because these are iconic. You can't just have one cover without the other. For many, many years, I had an X-Men 1, but it was the Gambit cover, and eventually I would end up getting the other 3. So I have all 4 covers, because you just have to. It's a beautiful picture of all of the X-Men, and the Beast pop is great, the Gambit pop is great, the Wolverine pop alongside the other 3 is great, and then of course you've got Magneto just standing there doing what Magneto does best as the #1 villain of the X-Men. But I gotta basically give a couple of personal gripes here. I feel that we've had so many of certain characters in pop form that it would have been nice to maybe have gotten a different character for these boxes. I mean, you can't do anything with the Magneto. The Magneto has to be what it is, and it makes sense. But I feel that with the one with Wolverine, they could have given us a Cyclops. I mean, I think the pose on the comic cover is fantastic to see, like, the optic blast going all the way through the box. That would have been pretty cool, and if it glowed in the dark, that would have been even better. I'm not surprised they went with Gambit because Gambit is such a popular X-Man, especially now with what happened in X-Men 97, and if you haven't watched that show, I highly recommend that you do. But would it have been cool to see Colossus? Sure. Rogue? Sure. Psylocke? Sure. I mean, they've all become Pops, but it's been a while since we've seen them. I mean, I have Rogue in my collection, but I also have another Gambit as well. And as far as Beast is concerned, I mean, I love the pose, but I personally would have gone with Storm. I really think that, especially with the pose in the comic cover, it would have been a much more dynamic pop. I mean, who knows? Maybe we could have gotten a really cool Jean Grey with the outline glowing in the dark. I mean, we haven't seen many pops of Archangel. That would have been cool, too. Or maybe even Professor X. I don't know. There were lots of ways that they could have gone with this, and they just ended up with these four. But at the end of the day, just to have Jim Lee art depicted in Funko Pop form with the iconic 4 comic covers in the back is a great thing to have regardless. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Please leave a comment in the box below. Let me know how your April 2024 went. Let me know if you picked anything up at C2E2. Let me know if I missed anything. What are you looking forward to in regards to any reveals that Funko has given us in the past couple of weeks? In the meantime, I will see you in the next one. If you enjoyed the video you just watched, feel free to leave a comment. Also, feel free to subscribe if you want to be up to date with our latest videos. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll see you in the next one. Actions speak louder than words.